Should be getting there. Okay, now we're good to start. Start stream. Okay, and we're live. What's going on, everyone? Hello. Just getting everything rolling here. Going on, everyone? Just getting everything rolling here. Peak concurrent. All right. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and run the intro. You won't be able to hear it, but.
Okay.
Hey guys, I'm Jordan Fromer. I believe in hunting hard, hunting smart, and having a fun time while doing it. And shooting limits, well, that's just the icing on the cake. I revel in the journey just as much as the successes it brings. From ducks to dogs to decoys and guns, we'll be talking tactics, strategies, and what it takes to get the job done. Load up and take aim. This is the Duck Gun Podcast. This week, we're joined by Titus from Mid Valley Mercenaries. We'll be discussing tips for hunting the grasslands of California and the backwaters of the Midwest. Ladies and gentlemen, Titus, Mid Valley Mercenaries. How's it going, man? Doing good. Thanks for joining me. Yeah. So first off, gotta hand it to you, man. Just watching some of your YouTube videos, you guys really been smashing the ducks out there in California. Yeah, I just can't believe like we never see pintails, and you guys are just I think it's like every hunt I watch, you guys have a pintail or a pintail per person. So that's just crazy because we don't see them like that out here. Nice. All right, well, I got a little bit of a highlight reel for anybody who hasn't seen Mid Valley Mercenary, but I'm sure a lot of you guys have. So let's check this out real quick.
I guess they're saying they can't hear me or something.
Let's get it on!
Yeah, sorry, I fixed it now.
Guys, thanks for watching.
All right. So you guys can hear them all right now? Go ahead and say something. I just want to make
testing 1 2 3.
Sorry, I think I had it muted. Do you have the chat? Like, I don't have a chat going, so I didn't see where people are saying that.
Just on my phone. That's the only way I could see that.
Huh. I think it's supposed to go over here, but oh well. Guess I'm gonna have to figure out how to get the chat. Just hold on, guys. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, he's saying.
Oh, there we go.
Now.
There we go.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, Freelance? Virginia Outdoors? Michael? Going on, Punchmaster? Sweet deal. All right, man. So, how about you tell us about yourself, Titus?
Well, I'm actually a helicopter crop duster here in the Central Valley. That's what I do for a living. Started out in construction and decided I didn't want to do that no more. So I went and got my helicopter license and been doing that for about 10 years now. And I've been hunting since my dad took me hunting since I was like 5 years old, big game hunting and everything else, and got into duck hunting when I was like 15. My friend Travis McDonald got me into it, took me when I was 15, and I've been hooked ever since. So that, and I got a wife, and we've been married for 12 years and 2 little girls, and living the good life.
Awesome. Awesome. So you say a pilot crop duster. So is that, I know in Indiana they use like the smaller just airplane crafts. Like what's I guess I've never seen a helicopter crop duster. Is that just something they do in California, or?
They do it other places, but the airplane crop duster has been around a whole lot longer. Right after after World War II, which the helicopter crop dusters didn't come into after Vietnam, and then but it is a lot more. I'd say it's more prevalent in California, but they definitely have a lot of them back east too. It's just not as widespread, I think.
Gotcha. So do you have your pilot license too, or is that different from a helicopter license?
It is different, but I'm working on my airplane, my fixed wing license too. But yeah, helicopter it's definitely a different license, but it's a little bit easier once you got one.
Yeah, that's pretty cool though. You ever take your helicopter duck hunting, like get to the spot faster?
That would be nice. I think I might get in trouble for that though.
Okay, gotcha. So you're from California, so you guys hunt public mostly out there? Or?
Yeah, it's pretty much all public land hunting, and I know there is a lot of guys that hunt what they call the rice, and they'll buy like a pit for the season or something like that. But myself personally, we all just hunt like public refuges, so
gotcha.
It's a whole different beast for sure.
Nice. So when you guys go out there on the refuge and hunt that public land, I guess I've never really seen like a boat in any of your videos. Do you guys just walk out or what?
Yeah, we check in at the check station, then we walk out there and you kind of decide where you want to go in the morning based on like your reservation or something. But also there is guys that use boats. I don't have, a boat for duck hunting, but there is certain refuges do allow you to do that, and they can get in different spots that we can't, maybe where the water's deeper or something.
So is that like would a John boat or canoe, or it doesn't really matter?
Exactly.
Like...
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. So none of those like big boats you see in like the timber hunts in Arkansas or anything like that?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay, gotcha. And so what is your guys like normal group size you guys hunt?
That's funny you said that, because we've talked a lot about that. The more the merrier, and it's a lot more fun like that. But the problem is hunting out here in the grasslands. One of the things I was going to talk about later was the concealment, and just having 5, 6 guys, as fun as that is, it just doesn't really work, because someone's always moving or something, and it could mess
gotcha.
up, the birds coming in.
Yeah.
So I personally, I like 2, but 3 max, something like that.
So 2 is your brother, your normal partner. I've seen he's pretty he seems just about as crazy as you, I'd say, in your videos.
Yeah.
I guess.
And he just recently got into it like 3 years ago, and he really became addicted overnight for sure. So it is definitely fun hunting with him. We think a lot alike and stuff, and of course he's my brother too, so I kind of have to like him.
Yeah. So what are your plans with your YouTube? You got I know this is this your first? I think this is your first season really filming the duck hunting stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you know what? I really am trying to really push it, and I've taken it about last 3 months, kind of right before duck season. I was doing some fishing, and I really want to get it I mean, I'm really trying to work, post at least 1 or 2 videos a week. In duck season, it's definitely a lot easier. But I mean, from fishing to big game hunting to predator hunting, reviews, stuff like that. I mean, I'm going to keep the content coming, at least once, for sure once, hopefully twice a week. But I've always liked making videos. I really have. And my parents can tell you that since I was a little kid. But it's just now that I have this, it's one way for me, honestly. It's to share it's like for me to like save memories, but also I like it because other people like it too. So it kind of is like a double whammy,
Yeah, I'm pretty much the same way with my YouTube. Like, it's just like I love going back and just seeing the hunts I had from the past season. Like, and yeah, it is cool to share it online and share your story, and I mean, connect with other hunters. I mean, from California, that's pretty crazy, Yeah,
it is
like,
cool.
Yeah, I didn't even know about the duck scene in California, but man, it seems like the more I look at it, like California is almost like a hidden gem, or maybe it's not. Maybe I just didn't know about it, but it's just you guys have some good duck hunting there.
Yeah, it is definitely for sure.
So, I mean, with that being said, so I guess you got plans to continue, and you're gonna be filming all next season as well.
Yeah, oh yeah, for sure, definitely, and on saying that, I personally would love to. I have some nice cameras, and I'd like to get some better shots. But hunting like we do at the refuges, it's really tough, and I'm gonna figure a way out this next season to get better shots, close-up shots, birds come in, slow motion, stuff like that. But I told my buddies, I'm like, I love duck hunting too much, to put my gun down to get some shots. But I'm definitely gonna try that next year and try to get some better spots and maybe even some, blinds or something like that.
Yeah, I think one of the best ways to do it is the way kind of the freelance does it. And I don't do this either. I do the same thing. Like I put cameras behind me and I wear the GoPro on my head. I don't always wear it, but like, I try to get all the angles and stuff, but they kind of take turns, and they film. Yeah. I mean, but it is, like you said, it's really hard, especially on that first group. Like if I get past the first group, I might start putting the camera down or the gun down and picking up the camera.
Right.
But like you said, it's just, you don't want to miss your limit or your shots and ducks.
Right.
And yeah, so it's kind of a give and take on that one.
Right.
So what kind of camera you got? I'm gonna guess you got like a GoPro Hero 6 or 5 right now. Is that?
Yeah, I got the 5 right now, and I also have a DSLR too, like I said, but I just haven't committed to taking that out there. It's a Canon EOS 70D.
Okay.
But,
is that one pretty good? Is that like the step behind the Mark cameras? Yes. Is that what it is? Okay.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. Yeah. So
nice.
Well, we'll see.
Are you just worried about getting it in the water, or?
Well, no. Honestly, really, what it is that's another thing that's different here about where we're hunting. I'm saying some other places would be totally different, but hunting in the refuges, when the flight's over, it's over. Which I'm sure that's like that anywhere. But what I mean is, it can only last 45 minutes. It's not like I'm cleaning up my decoys, birds are still coming in. It's over. So it's like you kind of want to leverage your time, because you don't know.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like I've seen a lot of guys on video where they're like rolling up and birds are still coming in. And I've been in places like that too. And it don't hurt. You can pass up shooting and you can video because there's plenty coming around. But it really isn't like that where we hunt. You got to kind of get what you can get while you're there.
Gotcha. So is the shooting time pretty much like the first light, first 45 minutes of shooting light and then the last 45 minutes, or is that what you're saying?
It's 30 minutes before sunrise, so you have your sunrise time.
Well, I guess I didn't meet I'm at the flight time, not the shooting time. Sorry.
Oh, right. Yeah, obviously weather's dependent, but I mean, that 3 hours, probably somewhere after the shooting time, yeah. And then about 3 before, the end of shooting time. But the thing is, too, I've been out there on a clear, sunny, windy day, and from 11 to 2 o'clock was like the best time. So it's really, couldn't really nail it down. But yeah, it is pretty much after in the morning and then the evening. I'd agree with you on that.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's pretty similar. But yeah, like you said, we can have some flights here and there that aren't. I mean, those are definitely the prime time for where I hunt, usually first light. Last light, it's really hard, I feel like, to call them in. But first flight, you have a way better chance calling them in and getting them to decoy. But like last light is like they know where they're going back to the roost, or they're going to feed and then they're going to the roost, and it's really hard to pull them off there. You got to be either at the feed, or I mean, you don't want to hunt the roost though, because then you won't be hunting those ducks anymore.
Okay.
All right, well, let's see what's going on in the chat. What's up, guys? What's up, Brooks, Peter? Glad to see you guys back again. And we'll get to Q&A. I don't know if there's any questions in there yet, but we'll get to Q&A at the end. So, anyways, guys, if you made it this far, you're not subbed. I think everybody's subbed in here. Then go ahead and hit that sub button, hit that like button. We're on the road to 1,000 right now, trying to get there before the cutoff for February 20th, and not get kicked out of the YouTube partner plan. So it'd be awesome if I can stay in that. So thanks, guys. And you guys, if you haven't checked out Mid Valley Mercenaries channel, make sure you guys get over there and look at his stuff too. He's got some good stuff, some sweet duck hunts. And he's going to be working with Rocky. I should ask you about that before we get to the general topic. So you got, what is he, 13 weeks now, 14?
Yeah, he'll be 13 weeks on Tuesday. So yeah, he's 12 still, 12 weeks.
12 weeks, okay. So 12-week-old Labrador puppy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I had to actually put him in the kennel because he's out in the front yard. I'm afraid he's taking off on the stuff.
Yeah, my dog is, how old is my dog? I lose track. There's no way he's 2 years yet. Yeah, he's 2 years. What? That doesn't seem right. Maybe he's 2 years old. I can't believe it, but
he's still young. Then that's good.
Yeah, but it just seems like it was yesterday. He was a puppy, and but yeah, he got his first retrieve in late season goose season last year on his 1-year-old birthday. So now he's so I guess he's not 2. He'll be 2 in like a week or something, because it was like the last weekend of late goose season last year. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So you got big plans to train them? And
yeah, I kind of did a lot of research before I even got a dog, and I was trying to find someone I liked their methods, and I ended up going with Chris Aiken. I just like his style, so that's who I'm going with.
Nice. Yeah. I actually haven't heard of him. I think I looked him up in your first video because I'm really looking to fine tune my dog this summer, because he's trained, but like I have some issues, I guess the best way to say, with him. And like he'll go and retrieve ducks, but we just got I want to get him fine tuned, almost like a hunt test dog if I can. Yeah. But I mean, is that what you're going for with yours?
Yeah, kind of, because at first I thought, I just want him to retrieve. I want him to, stay when the birds go down until I send them. But then when I thought about it, I was like, man, it kind of would be cool that we have, do all those extra things, So I'm going to probably try to go as far as I can with them, honestly. Nice.
Will you actually do any of the hunt tests, or just make them just a hunting dog?
I don't know. Honestly, you say that. I was just talking to my dad about that. I was like, man, that would be kind of cool to do those hunt tests, but I don't know. I guess I'll see how he goes.
Yeah, I've thought about it. It's just I got so much other things. I don't know if I'd have time, but it would be awesome.
Yeah.
And I think I don't think that I can get him as fine tuned as you need for the hunting test, because he's just got some bad habits. Because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't read any books. I just watched some YouTube videos, and I wish I would have got a book and stuck to a system, kind of like you're planning to do, just from start to finish. Because I mean, once you get some bad habits and you don't know what you're doing with them, then I think it's harder to fix that.
Yeah.
But I mean, some other guys that do dogs would know better, like Freelance, and maybe Girls Hunt Vlog 2.
Oh yeah.
That's the wrong name, but something like that. All right, so yeah, let's go to the general topic. So today's topic, we got 5 tips from Titus for hunting the grasslands, and I'm going to give 5 tips for hunting the public areas, the backwaters of the Midwest that I hunt. So I'll start first, and the first thing I got is just every time you're out there, every time you're going to hunt or you're scouting around, you got to look for the best locations, because there's just certain locations out there that are going to be way better than others. And I got like a certain spot I call the honey hole, and it's off the river, down some back channels, and in a big pool, and like I mean, it is the honey hole, and it's probably the best place on public land that I've found. And if you can find a bunch of those spots, you're just going to be able to get in limits on public land way better than people who aren't going and finding those good spots. And I got another spot, call it Wood Duck Heaven, and I mean, there's just tons of wood ducks out there, and you get in the right spots, find the birds. You know, that's the most important part, because if you're not in those spots, it's just going to be way harder to get on the birds.
Yeah.
All right, to you, Titus.
Well, my first one was extreme concealment. I mean, that you kind of say, well, that goes as for everybody, and I agree it does, but I've been some places where like it just didn't seem like you had to be that concealed. It was like the birds wanted the spot. It was like the X. And in hunting the public refuges and stuff, they see everybody. So they're looking for that little hole where they don't think nobody's at, you know? So it's like that's why I said less guys really is almost better, because it's easier to really, really be concealed. Like you're getting down in the tules, using the sun to cover up the shot, you know, get in the shadows of the tules and stuff like that. So, I mean, no movement, extreme concealment. And you know, that's where I feel like you really got to do, because, you know, like I said, that's kind of a basic, concealment, but I've hunted some other places. I hunted Canada too. It's almost like it didn't matter. It's like the birds were just coming in. You're like, dude, you're standing wide open trying to clean up and you're still landing, you know?
Yeah.
So you definitely got to be very, very concealed, because I've watched birds when they do want to work and there's no one else around. They'll circle and you can tell them they're dropping their heads looking. I mean, they take a lot of time to look before they even think about coming down.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So do you guys ever try like portable blinds, like an A-frame or anything, or just stick to hiding in the tall grass?
We mainly just hide in the tall grass. I have tried the portable blinds. The water usually is about knee deep. So, I mean, I know you could kind of set it up in that somehow. We did that one time on some big water, and it worked okay, but it wasn't really a preference.
Gotcha.
Choice, you know.
Just better to go in the tall grass.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha. All right, so the second one I got is just avoid the crowds, and one of the best ways to do that is to hunt the weekdays, because you know, weekends, even if you're finding those good spots, they're not going to be, if they're on public land, other people are going to know about them and they're going to be fighting you for them. But if you can get out there on weekdays, you know, maybe like a Tuesday or Wednesday, give it some time to rest, or even Thursday, you know, like from the hunting pressure that's on the weekends, then you're able to get out there. The birds aren't as pressured. They've had time to come back to those great locations, and just really benefit to avoid the crowds by hunting on the weekdays.
That's a really good tip right there. I agree with that.
Yeah, and I'm able to do it like because one, like my work is flexible, so I know a lot of people aren't going to have that option. Like I can get in by 9, so like you're talking like early season. I think shooting time's like around like 6:50, and then that prime shooting light, maybe that first hour of light. So I mean, you're talking 7:50, and then you get back to your vehicle and you drive to work, and it's 9 o'clock. So, and if I wasn't able to do that, I'd shoot a lot less ducks.
Yeah, I bet. I'm flexible too, and I could agree with you. Our midweek hunts are definitely better.
Nice.
For sure.
You guys get out there in the midweek on the refuge, like they don't have any restrictions, or
we'll have a Wednesday. Basically, you can hunt on you basically can hunt on refuges Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday. That's it.
Gotcha. All right. You got your next tip?
Yeah. The tip number 2 I was thinking of is sometimes no calling, you know, because I've had some people say, man, you don't call it much, which personally I'll edit out a lot of that, just because I don't feel like I need to put a clip of me calling before every shot, you know. But we do call a lot if the birds are, if that's helping. But I've seen a lot of times, man, they'll flare. You hit that call one time, and it's just that you can see sometimes the birds will call shy, you know. And you just gotta be quiet and just let the birds work and let them come in, because if they want that spot and they're on a beeline or on a string right to it, it's like, do I really need to quack? You know, do I need to feed chuckle? You know, that's what they want. Let the birds do it. So.
Yeah, I've heard people say that, but I don't know if I've necessarily seen birds flare where I'm at from calling. I mean, maybe they do, It's hard to tell, like, if it's from the
Yeah.
call or something else, or
Yeah.
I guess I'm not sure. I'm sure it's different in different areas, but
Well,
I
you know
definitely.
what? The biggest part of that is let's say if this refuge is, I don't know, I'm just making up a number, 2 square miles. Now in that one pond I'm in, I've got 6 groups and
Mm,
everybody's blowing on the mallard call, and feed chuckling, you know what I mean? It's kind
yeah.
of like it's I guess you could say you're in who's ever at the best at competition calling, at that point you're just and
Yeah.
that's why I think they avoid that sometimes. I think they'll honestly go somewhere else where it's quiet.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I hate that about public land. There's one hunt this season, and I'm back in this marshy area off the river. It's a different spot, but um, there's this guy, and every time I hit my call, he would call, and he's like he's like 400 yards behind me and to the left. I'm like on the front of this island, and then this island goes like this, and then there's another stream, and then he's set up back there, and that's where I wanted to
You
go.
probably thought you were a real duck.
I don't know. It got annoying. Every single time I saw ducks out on the big water, I'd call, and then I hear this guy calling behind me. I'm like, you got to be kidding me! Like every single time, and it was so annoying. And then I'm like, just to test it, I'm like, maybe I'm going crazy. Maybe he's just seeing ducks at the same time as me. I pick up my goose call. There's not a goose around, and I start goose calling, and he starts goose calling. I'm like, you got to be kidding me!
That's funny,
So yeah, that's one thing about public land, man. I hate people who call to the sound of other people calling or like try to call birds away from you. I'm like, we can just like work together. You don't got to be a jerk about it. Like,
yeah.
I mean, it just
The
really.
thing is, I can't lie too. And if I've been eating a snack or something with my head down and not paying attention to the birds are coming, if I hear someone 150 yards away from me calling, I look up because I know a bird's coming.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
You know what I mean? That's the joys of hunting public land.
Yeah, that's for sure. But it's just, I mean, that's a little different than like if every single time someone else calls, because he can't be seeing birds every time that I call.
Right.
And it was like all morning. I didn't shoot anything, so I went home a little angry.
Yeah.
All right. So third tip, decoy variation. So a lot of times out there you see guys and they got like 3 dozen ducks or like, a couple dozen, like huge spreads. And so one thing that I've done to kind of change it up, I'll go just like five mallards, or just like maybe 7 or 5 or and a couple mojos, just something to not look like everyone else's spreads. Because if the ducks have seen it every single day or every time they go into a big set like that, they're kind of going to get used to seeing that type of spread, and you just want to change it up, And another option to change up your variation is even if you're just hunting ducks, not geese, to throw in some geese decoys, because it seems like the ducks love geese. I've had wood ducks land right in the middle. It was early goose season. It wasn't even duck season, and I had wood ducks landing in my geese decoys. No duck decoys at all. I'm like, whoa, So I mean, that kind of shows the power, the strength of being able to just use the goose to change up your spread a little bit, the goose decoys.
Oh yeah, that's a good tip, and they're bigger too. So
that's true. It's almost like having those Magnum duck decoys. I've never tried those, but
my third one is scouting. It's funny because someone put on, or David, however you pronounce his last name, put on their hashtag scouting, and that's actually what my third one was, is scouting. If you guys have seen on some of those videos, a lot of them are afternoon hunts. Because say, if I put in for a lottery and a reservation and I can't get in on the morning, then we got to wait till a certain amount of guys come out for us to go back in and hunt the afternoon. But the big thing during that time is I take my binoculars, even if it's public land, and you go out there and you watch the birds, you're glassed around seeing birds fly around, and you're waiting to honestly see if someone shoots at it. If no one's shooting at them and they keep landing in this back pothole or something, they keep dumping in there, that's where I'm going, because obviously no one's back there, number one, and you're not going to deal with people. So that scouting thing. Now, some of the refuges I go to are basically only pits or assigned ponds, meaning no one else can come in there with you. And the thing is with that, you don't really more so have a choice of getting to pre-scout it. I mean, you can glass, but that doesn't mean those guys will come out. So once you backfill it or go in, you're kind of more so going off of how many birds they shot that morning, They shot 3 limits. Well, yeah, I'll take that blind, But other than that, if it's free roam, meaning anyone can go in there anywhere in there, yeah, we're out there glassing, trying to see where we want to go hunt.
Yeah, I was curious about that because I didn't know, like with the public refuges, like how it was, like for the scouting, like how you can scout in that scenario. But
Yeah.
I mean, scouting is definitely important, I think, anywhere you go.
Right.
And yeah, be where the birds are.
Yep.
All right, so next tip is to hunt the weather patterns. So anytime there's a cold front, you got to make sure you can get out there and hunt. And you know, it just takes a significant drop in temperature, like 20 degrees or something. And it doesn't matter if it's, you know, 50 to 30 or, you know, 20 to 0. Like those cold fronts get the birds moving. And so, and that goes back to those spots you found, the great spots you find early season, or that you found just through your life of hunting. And the birds are going to return there when you get those cold fronts and those fresh moves of birds, because those spots aren't pressured anymore. Yeah. And you know, if you can be first on the spot after a cold front, it's just money in the bank.
Yep. Agree there. Mine was, you kind of touched on a little bit actually. One was be different, because the standard decoy, it seems like everybody buys, is mallards.
Mm-hmm.
And I got a dozen myself. But so does everybody else. And sometimes that kind of looks obvious, you know, especially on a calm day, you know, where you don't have no wind and it's kind of shaking the decoys around. I know a friend of mine, actually, Foul Assassins Outdoors, he's got his channel on there too. He actually took some old decoys and painted them to the scheme of spoonies, which we'll have a lot of spoonies out here. And they definitely sucked in there a lot better to his decoys. So I know we've talked about that a lot, you know, changing up our decoy spread. I know some guys, and I don't, you know, you can laugh. Some people laugh. It's not, you know, and it may be laughable. It's not a big deal, but some guys will actually throw coot decoys. We have billions.
I've heard that, yeah.
Out here. And it's just something, because it's kind of like a confidence thing for ducks. Like, oh, you know, there's a bunch of dumb coots swimming around, you know, so we can go land in there. We're not going to get shot at. And so I'm definitely gonna do a little bit more of that, changing the tactic of that, because I definitely know it works. And I have done it myself and seen it. It's been a long time since I've had any of those decoys, and I know that definitely works, is changing that up. Or like you said, I've walked way back into a spot really nobody wanted to walk, on a free roam refuge, and took 3 decoys, you know, 3 mallards. Nice. And it worked, man. We just limited out on mallards, you know. Yeah. Obviously not this year, but in times past.
Nice. Yeah, that's I had one hunt earlier this year, and it was kind of crazy, because I had just like a pile of, like, it was like 30 or more coot just sitting out there, and I couldn't decoy the mallards in. They were just going landed with the coots. And yeah, I didn't shoot a bird that day, because they just all kept going, decoying in with the coots, or landing with the coots, and not decoying into my set.
Right. So. Yeah. Well, and too, another thing is the mojo. Everybody has a mojo out there. After December 1st, we're out here, everybody has a mojo, you know, and you're just like, you don't look different. You know, that's what I've noticed. That just being different definitely makes a difference.
So I haven't seen a lot of mojos. Like, I mean, I know a lot of people have them, but I haven't seen a lot of people hunting the mojos on the public land where I hunt, at least. Yeah. So I know a lot of people say, like, the later in the season, and I think that's true too. The later in the season, the worse they get, like the worse they are to use. But especially early season, man, I've had huge success with the mojos.
Yeah.
And then the last one I got is hunt the late season. Don't be lazy. Get out there, because not everybody else is going to get out there in the cold. And if you get out there in the cold and, you know, find the moving water when everything else is froze up, then you're going to have, you know, the best hunts of all season. I mean, it's going to stink because it's cold, but you're going to be having so much fun, having so much action, that you're not going to care.
Yeah. Yep. My next one was, it's funny, these comments, because everybody's like nailing it right before I say it. It's pretty cool. I think you guys are reading my mind. But the other one was, my last one was be mobile. You know, I've been in spots, like I said, sometimes that's why I go with a really limited amount of decoys, because the birds may not want that spot where I'm at. And let's say I have 6 decoys. Well, that's easy for me. I can pick them up, go light, you know, pick them up. And if they're landing, like Out West Outdoors was saying, you know, they landed 100 yards away all day. I've had that happen a lot of times. What I do is pick up the decoys, flush the birds, go right where they were all landing, and boom, then it turns into a successful hunt,
Yeah.
So.
Nice. Yeah, I agree with that. Don't be afraid to move either. If you got, and especially if you set yourself up to be mobile like that, don't be afraid to do it, because sometimes it can just make a big difference.
Yep.
All right. Well, you ready for the lightning round?
Sure. I think I missed this last time with Virginia Outdoors. I'm not sure what goes on here.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say like a question or like a this or that, and you just answer like a quick answer back, and we're just gonna pop through them all. Okay. So here we go. Lightning round. Gun. What's your gun?
A5.
Browning A5.
Yes,
Dream gun.
Dream gun. Browning A5.
Nice. That's what I like to hear. I'm on board with that one. Shot size.
3-inch 3-shot.
Number 3 shot. 3-inch over 3.5. Ducks or geese?
Ooh, ducks.
Face paint or no face paint?
Oh man, face paint. I guess you're putting me on the spot, man. That's hard. That's tough.
I love the face paint, even if it doesn't work.
There you go. Killer. Look like a mercenary.
there you go. Yeah, that goes perfect with the channel name. Ammo.
I'm changing that this year. I can't give you a quick answer because I'm not going to shoot that cheap stuff anymore.
Ammo you shot last year then? Or this?
I ain't doing that this year. I'm going to try that Browning BXD.
I want to try that too, yeah.
I'm going to try that.
They sold me with...
Adam Stam is a subscriber on my channel, and he's like highly suggests that, so I'm going to try it.
Do you know how much it goes for a box?
It looked like he was telling me some better prices. I was seeing like $20 a box, which is
that's what I was seeing too.
But he said on Rogers Sporting Goods you can get a good deal on it.
Yeah, I saw that too. I didn't go with it. I almost did. I went with Kent's, and bad choice for my gun anyway.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, Browning A5s. Kent's don't work in them, I guess. Beard or no beard?
Beard.
River or no? River or grasslands?
Oh man, these are tough. I like both, but I'll say grasslands. I have to say that, I guess.
Water or field?
Ooh, dry field is nice. That is nice.
Mojo or Lucky Duck?
Mojo.
Morning or evening?
I like morning. You can be done and hang out the rest of the day.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. And it's just better where I hunt. Morning is.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never had success in the evening.
Yeah.
And all right, so little update, guys. So next Wednesday we got freelance duck hunting coming on. So if you guys haven't hit that bell button and that subscribe button, hit that so you guys get that notification. We're going live at 6 Eastern time on Wednesday next week. I can't do it on Friday, unfortunately. So I know this is only the 3rd episode, but we got family coming in town, so won't be able to be there for that. And then I'm going to have one on Monday too. So I'm making it up, doing one on Wednesday and then Monday. And Monday we got somewhere in Wisconsin. So 2 other great waterfowl channels, you guys. If you haven't checked those out, make sure you do. And yeah, hit that bell so you're notified when we go live. And then let's go for the Q&A. Any questions? Give them a second. There's a little bit of delay from here to what goes on there. While we're waiting, you got any questions for me?
I know. I was actually thinking that myself. Hold on. I should have wrote them down because I was actually thinking of a lot of stuff too. No, I'm drawing a blank. I had like 3 of them. I should have wrote them down.
That's all right. If you think of them later, you can ask me. I got the first question. So Brooks asked what editing software that we use. So I use what's it called? Filmora. It's like I mean, it's cheaper than a lot of those other softwares you can buy, like the Adobe ones, because you got to pay like a monthly fee and it's kind of expensive. Yeah. The Filmora one, it's not as good, but it's cheaper. I think it's like $50-$60 one-time price, and they keep doing updates and making it better and better. But yeah, it's kind of just a budget software, way better than the free stuff, but not as good as the expensive, Adobe package. And how about you?
I use iMovie right now, just that free version that comes on my
Yeah.
MacBook Air.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna buy the paid version so I can get a lot better editing, a lot
Yeah.
more special effects stuff here this
Yep.
spring.
Yeah, I heard the iMovie's pretty good. It's probably comparable to Filmora, and it's free with a Mac, which is nice. But I don't have a Mac, so I had to buy something.
No.
And then Virginia Outdoors Unlimited asked, "What's our dream duck? What's your dream duck?"
I really, really, really want to shoot. Okay, I'll say this one is number one, but I really have like three. I really want to shoot a king eider.
Oh,
like
wow.
my dream duck. But two, you know, also an old squaw and a harlequin would be awesome.
Yeah. The harlequins look cool, and yeah. I think for me it's the pintail because we don't get them like you guys, which
Dude,
reminds me.
Come out here, man.
Yeah,
serious, come out here. We'll go.
Yeah, definitely, man. That'd be awesome. And that reminds me of a question I had for you because you shoot so many pintails and it doesn't seem like you guys get that many mallards. So like for you, would you rather shoot a pintail or a mallard?
Well, honestly, up until this year, it seemed like it was really kind of scantily on the pintails, and then they dropped it down to one per hunter. And then there's pintails landing our decoys, and you're like having to really be really leery about what you're shooting and identify them. Obviously, you want to anyways, but it's like, oh man, you know, like, oh, don't, you know, you stand up and that's a pintail, sit down. And we never had that problem in years past. So I will say mallards right now would be great again. We've done good the last several years on mallards, but kind of our spots that we hunted are not available this year. So that really put a really kink in the plans for mallards this year. Gotcha.
All right, so question from Freelance Duck Hunting, and it's a question for you. And you said he saw that you guys were taking criticism about your shot selection and overall range. And what are your thoughts on this topic?
Yeah, you know what? Every single video I post, and that's why I don't like the GoPro for this reason. But I'm not willing to throw that down just because of what people say. So, you know, put the gun down, and it's no big deal. That's what you expect when you put something online. But yeah, everybody's saying, you know, that we're shooting birds at 80 yards, you're sky busting, you're sky cracking.
If you're shooting them at 80 yards, they wouldn't be falling.
Come up with, man, it's like, I don't even know where they come up with these words that they come up with for shooting them far away. And you know, honestly, there was the one video, I can't tell you which one right now, I'd have to look it up. Every bird that was shot in that video was like 35 yards max. And everybody, that was a really one where people were saying, oh, you're sky cracking, you're sky busting, you know. And I didn't even argue. I was like, yeah, I just let them think that because it's like 30 yards, man, isn't sky bust in my opinion. Like I said, we don't really have them feet down a lot out here. It's really a lot of pass shooting. I've hunted on rivers and places like that where they're landing in the decoys, and that's epic, of course. You know, who doesn't want that? Yeah. But it's like really on a refuge, I have had them land in the decoys. I have had them lock up and land. But I would say the times where they're not is more than when they are. You know? Yeah, and that GoPro does distort it a lot. Big time. There was one, in fact, I kind of was a little harsh on the honest. I was like, oh, let me guess, that was 40 yards away, and that bird literally, the one video, the bird was literally 7 yards away. It was a little buffy, and he was so close it blew his whole wing off, which I've never seen that before. It was hilarious, but it blew the whole left wing off the bird. And in the video, you would say, oh, that's probably 15 yards, and it was like 7. You know.
Yeah. I've seen that too. I've had I think it was like the mallard freeze video. Like we had the ducks or no, it was the one with the one before that. I can't remember the name, but where I went with my brother-in-law, and like we had ducks, and like we're standing like 10 feet off the edge of the creek, and yeah, it was awesome. And like the birds, they're right there, and it was like it looks so much further than the GoPro, but like I mean, it was a hard shot because they're so close.
You know what I do too? I'm curious. Actually, here's my question for you. What setting do you have your GoPro on? I use 1080 or 1080 60, but I have it on medium, and I've actually seen that's helped not make them look so far. Just curious
Yeah.
what you use.
Actually, I actually don't use a GoPro. So I have a off-brand
okay.
one, and I can't even remember the brand. It's like E80, like some numbers and like 7,000 or something. But yeah, I definitely want to upgrade to the 5, like probably a couple 5s this off season.
Yeah,
But yeah, right now I'm just hunting with a cheaper off-brand. It's like $70 or something, and I got 2 of them. But yeah, so I guess the settings I have on them is 1080, 60, but I don't think it has like a range, like the close, medium, or wide or something. I think it's just full wide all the time. So, all right. Peter asks, what is the popularity of the Winchester experts besides they are cheap? I hear they aren't completely round and don't shoot as high. Kent's work and my guns, Browning and Beretta. It's the shooter. So he's saying that that is our fault for the Kents not shooting well.
No.
I mean, it could be, but I patterned it and it didn't work with my gun. So I don't know if it's different from each Browning to Browning or whatever. But for whatever reason, the Kents didn't work well in my Browning, and I patterned them, and it was awful. And I still hunted with them a little bit, and just switching to the Winchesters for whatever reason. And it doesn't really matter the ammo cost. For me, it's just how well they perform, how well they pattern, and how likely you are to get a duck. Because when I shoot the Kents, like I'd hit them with like a BB or two, and you could see the ducks like do that and keep flying. I'm like, well, that's not gonna work.
So you're using the Winchester Super X's?
I guess I'm not using the Super X's. I'm using, what are they called?
I'm just curious.
Yeah, the Super X's. Yeah, it's the yeah, it's the super cheap one.
You've never had a misfeed or anything with those, huh?
Never.
Huh.
I guess I did when I used the 2 3/4. I had misfires, but that was dove load, super tiny load, 2 3/4, and right when I got the gun, and that's the only time I've had misfires.
Really? That's the shells that I'm having with. And someone said, "Oh, you need to learn how to clean your gun." I'm like, dude, I cleaned my gun last night. It has nothing to do. I clean my gun all the time. It's duck season, and you get wet, you got to clean that thing, or you get rust. But
yeah.
You know what though? I've shot those since I bought that gun, which is 3 years ago, and I never had an issue with it before. So I don't know, maybe the ejector or something. But a lot of people told me it's the crimp. The crimp is a little longer, so once the shell goes out and it opens up, it can hang up. And I wonder, you have the Wicked Wing, right?
Yeah. So I don't know, maybe there's some upgrade or maybe. And you think that they would, because Browning owns Winchester, so I assume that they test their guns with the ammo they make. I mean, it only makes sense to me, and that's why I assumed that even though it was cheap ammo, it shot so well out of my gun because it patterns great, and I mean, I knocked down birds with it like crazy. Right.
Well, I love I shoot well with the Winchester Super X 3-inch 3-shot, honestly, and that's why I'm like, I'm almost not wanting to move, but at the same time, I don't want to have to pull a misfeed out. You know? Oh
yeah, that's not worth it. So okay, let's try to find the next question here. Shoot high. Okay. Yeah. Yep. What's your favorite duck call? I'll let you go first on this one.
Okay. Well, maybe can I give you a cheap version and an expensive version?
Sure. Yeah. Let's go.
I'm actually gonna do a review on that here pretty soon later on. But the cheap one is a Buck Gardner Double Nasty. That call is so raspy and so easy to blow. It's actually really crazy, and I love that call. I always have 1 or 2 of those on my lanyard. But this year I do like R&T, but I had some issues with it sticking because it's got that regular cork in there. But this year I actually purchased, now my mind's going to go blank that I'm sitting here talking about it. It's, I bought the, JJ Layers. The JJ Layers, man, those calls are on every single one of them. They have like 5 or 6.
Are those the pricey calls. Ones then?
Yes, and those are the pricey. Those are, $140.
Oh, wow, that is pricey.
Yeah. I got the JJ Layers A5.
Nice.
So that's a very good call.
Nice. Yeah, I guess for me, I've only really used the Duck Commander calls, and I do want to branch out and try some different stuff. But yeah, we'll have to see. I definitely want to try some like the custom calls that people have. You see a lot of the small guys on Instagram posting them and stuff. Some of those look pretty cool. Want to try some of those, maybe some 3D printed ones, or just any variety of calls. But for me, I just use the duck commanders right now, but looking to branch out.
Which one specifically are you using?
Oh, I got two. One is like, so many, I know. One's like it's the duck. I can't remember the name. It's like the old, like one of the original ones. It's laying on the floor. I'm not gonna go get it. I can't remember the name. And then I got like the Uncle Si. It's like the green one. I didn't really pay too close attention to the names, I guess.
Yeah, I use the They're talking about the camera. I use the 1080 medium too.
Yeah, that's what Freeland.
Yeah, I don't know if I said narrow. Maybe I might have said narrow, but definitely medium for sure.
Yeah, I think that's what you said. And I know Freelance puts his right in the decoys too, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that does look really good. I've done that too. I need to do that more next year. That's a very good tip.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to get some kind of like stake or something. But usually the thing is with me, I don't get the close shots like that. I usually put mine behind me because I like to get like me in the shot as well. And I think that looks good. It's kind of like a give and take because you get like a really cool like kill shot when you put it in the decoys. But I don't know. It's like I really like getting the shooter in there too. So it's kind of give and take. Maybe I need three GoPros. I don't know, but
hey, the more the merrier. The only thing is, man, we both know that's more editing, more time.
Yeah. Like sometimes when I go by myself, I only run like 2 cameras. I can edit those videos way faster than like if I got. Sometimes, I mean, I'll run up to like 3 or 4 cameras, and then my buddy will run a camera or 2 as well, and he gives me his footage. And like when I had the Cold Front Thunder video, our 6-man limit, I had like, I don't even know, like 5 cameras to go through. That was like a nightmare.
Oh, man. That's rough.
Yeah. Turned out well, though. Yes, it's good to have the footage for that, but it takes way longer to edit, especially trying to get them out like one right after the other.
Yep.
Let's see. Next question. Virginia Outdoors Unlimited wants to know if you guys are allowed to use the motion decoys in California, like the spinning wing decoys, or if they prohibit that at all.
Oh, he must be delayed a little bit, huh? Because now he's saying he got. Thanks for clarification.
Oh, okay, yeah, someone else.
That might have been a question for you though, huh?
I don't know.
Oh, he's talking to someone else. He's talking to Peter.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. David is asking if we fish in the off season. I fly fish in the off season. So I'll be looking for some videos for that. Probably won't be as like many as like duck hunting, but here or there I'll probably get out a little bit of supplemental videos.
Yeah.
How about you?
Maybe will you be able to do anything like, I know it's probably a funny question, but maybe instructional? Or is that something you got to learn in person probably, huh?
The fly fishing?
Yeah.
I mean, you could do instructional. I never have done it. Because I don't want to like overload this channel with fly fishing stuff necessarily. Like I think like the actual fishing videos are cool, like for people to watch. But I feel like the people who subscribe to the channel might not necessarily want to see like, and this is how you cast, and this is how you roll cast, and this is like, or like tying a fly. It might be like a little bit different from, what they're expecting to see. I don't know.
Gotcha.
I've thought about starting a second channel, but I can barely like keep up with the content with one. So if I could, if I would start a second channel, it'd definitely be fly fishing because it's my second passion besides duck hunting.
That's cool. I definitely bass fish. And I've fished, since a little kid. It was usually always for trout and stuff. But this last summer, I really got into bass fishing, like addicted bad. I bought a boat and all that good stuff. So I was like, oh, nice. I love it. So I'm really looking forward to the pre-spawn and the spawn.
Oh yeah,
this spring, which should actually hear pretty soon. And actually, it's crazy weather. Next week is supposed to be almost 80 degrees here in California, which is not normal in February. So I don't know.
Yeah, you might get an early spawn then.
Yeah, we might.
Yeah, I used to bass fish like crazy, but I've kind of strayed away with it, learning all this fly fishing stuff for the last, 5 years or so. Because I don't know, we got some cool streams up in Michigan and rivers coming off like the Great Lakes for like steelhead and salmon, and then their trout streams as well. So I just head up north into Michigan, and I have some pretty sweet fishing for that. And don't you guys have sweet steelhead rivers over there in California?
Yeah, there is some very, very good spots, and there's a lot of people fly. In fact, we went down to the river, and there was people fly fishing yesterday when I took my wife and kids to the park. They were out there fly fishing too, so there's definitely good fishing
Early
out here.
steelhead stream or run, I guess, probably. Nice. All right, let's see what we got. Oh, I think David asked earlier, and I forgot about that question, but I think David asked if like what our plans are for off-season videos. So I'll let you go first on this one.
Oh, I just planned on doing tips, or not tips, I shouldn't say that, like reviews. I'm gonna do some reviews on gun calls, how to, blowing some duck calls. Also, fishing's definitely gonna be one of them. Bass fishing. I'm also got a couple of big hunts planned this year. A big game whitetail hunting, that should be really cool. And then also a lot of predator hunting too. But I had kind of asked that too. Is I put on my social media. What do you guys want to see? What kind of videos interest you? But definitely some deer hunting, possibly some other big game too. Haven't really nailed it down yet, but for sure, I'm gonna definitely keep the videos coming at least once or twice a week.
Yeah, I got a pretty similar plan. I'm gonna do like some tips, reviews, instructional stuff for duck hunting. Just try to go over the stuff that I normally do, and yeah, same with that. It's a little difficult. It's the way that the algorithm works. You kind of have to stay, I think, active for them to keep you like in the algorithm as preferable for them to promote you. And with duck hunting, we got 3 or 4 months of the year we can actually make hunt videos, which is like my favorite part of the duck hunting channels. But so definitely won't. I'll be doing the podcast weekly, which is what I'm actually excited about, because
That's
cool.
This is
it's a lot of fun to have like-minded guys on here, duck hunters, and hear from their crazy stuff they got going on in like California, or last week we had Virginia Outdoors, and got freelance duck hunting from Kansas next week. And so it's just like that'll be idea. Like it'll be my my project for the off season is keeping this stuff running.
That was a really great idea. Also training Rocky too, my dog. That's gonna be something I'll have on every couple of weeks too. So That's fun. That's just fun for me though too. So
yeah. Have you ever heard of the Wind Whacker? That's from Peter. I've never heard of it.
I'm curious now what it is.
Okay. And then Peter was saying that he does do you guys do snow goose conservation season? Do we have a snow goose conservation season in Indiana? We do have one, but they don't actually show up that often. Indiana's not a big state for snow geese, but I mean, I'd love it if they showed up in one of the fields we got permission in. Actually, a funny story is the guys I hunt with, I think it was 3 seasons ago, one of the fields got loaded up, and it was after late goose season. And they're just telling me about this last week. And they're like, oh man, I wish this was in season. And they forgot that the snow goose season goes way past the late goose season.
Oh.
And it was in a field that had permission. And they thought about it later. They're like, we could have hunted those.
Oh man.
And so we never get them in Indiana like that. Like, I mean, like Kansas, and I guess you shoot them too, over there in California.
We got one little window. That's the late season, but not like those guys have. It's unbelievable what those guys get.
Nice. Nice, David. Salmon steelhead are awesome fish to catch on any type of gear. Thanks, Peter.
Yeah, it does, man. I like that comment about the beard.
I'll take it, I guess. Yeah. This is grown out all season.
No, that's nice.
I think I trimmed it down once, but I don't know. I'm not sure if I'll trim it down here again or keep it going, but it's getting a little out of control, so I don't know what we'll do.
That's funny.
All right, well, last call on questions. If not, we're going to wrap this thing up.
Awesome. Been good.
Yeah. So I think that's it for the questions. Thanks for joining me, Titus. It's been awesome. Really enjoyed hearing about California and how you guys hunt out there. And, hopefully we can do this again sometime.
For sure, man. I'd love to. This is great.
Yeah. That was awesome. So I hope you guys enjoyed it too. And we'll see all you guys next time. Let's go. And make sure to sub to Mid Valley Mercenaries stuff. He's got some sweet videos.
Thanks, man.
And we'll see you guys next time.
Later.